When you're drafting, you sure don't have a lot of time.
I wish it wasn't all the same deck.
Benefit for the community.
He would be surprised if there were more than 250 play sets in circulation.
You actually have to figure out what everyone else is going to be anticipating.
The conflict's escalating. It's the besiege happening, the war is starting. And this set has half Mirrodin, half Phyrexian.
Grasp of Darkness is 2 black mana for an instant to give target creature -4/-4 until end of turn.
I'm just excited just to open the packs and just try to build a deck.
Go.
Probably known Eric for a few months, maybe like 6, 7, about M11 time. He just came into the shop. I like to trade, so always looking for new stuff. Saw he had a few alders, and we just kind of hit it off.
He's real good. He's definitely very sharp. He's very careful about his plays. He'll pay attention to his mana base. Very straightforward about what he's doing. We'll take the time to think about his plays. We'll definitely go into the tank to make sure he's getting the right one.
Hear that plane coming? It's coming around the bend.
14.
Hear that plane coming?
As a player, he's super tight. Like, I never want to see him in the first round of anything ever. He's accomplished. I mean, he played on I think it was the Korean Worlds team. I mean, I don't know anybody that played on a Worlds team other than him. I mean, I don't know anybody that played on a Nationals team. But, I mean, he's super knowledgeable about the game. I mean, just even the history. I mean, I've been playing for a lot of years, but he just crushes me. He just knows things.
I had just switched schools into middle school, and I went over a friend's house, just a regular sleepover, and they were showing off like their elf decks and their goblin decks, and they just taught me how to play. And then the very next day, I was really excited, went out and bought a 5th edition tournament pack.
Is this you control?
Yes.
Automation.
He really loves the game. He likes to see the new cards that come out. Obviously, being an alterer, he likes to kind of get ideas in his head about what's new stuff he can go where he can go with it.
Right now, I'm just setting up a card to put my drawing down onto it. This is a agave from the commander decks, and I'm going to put a poison ivy on it. Alterations are a way of customizing your cards, making them highly unique, and that's done by painting directly onto the card. And there's 2 types of alterations. Extensions, where you're taking the original art and you're extending it over the borders, and what I would call character alterations, where you're putting a character or portrait from pop culture directly over the art. I was working a graphic design job at the time, which means that I was absorbing the internet on a daily basis, pretty much gobbling up all the Magic material that I could. And I stumbled upon the Alteration forum on MTG Salvation. And I was really excited because Alteration was 2 things that defined my life, art and Magic. So I went home that day, I bought supplies, I altered my first card, which was a Wall of Blossoms. And it was just a hobby for about 3 years after that. And at the beginning of 2011, I started doing it full time. Got my primed card here and my mocked up image here. And I'm just going to coat the image with some graphite on the back. So then I'm just going to cut out my image that I'm transferring with an X-Acto. Then like tape it over my card so that I can transfer it directly onto the card. So after I transfer this, I'm still gonna have to ink the image, kind of clear away the excess primer, and then paint it, and then ink it again. So it's a pretty tedious process, but the results are worth it.
It seems like he's just a great artist that decided to pick Magic cards as a forum. Like, he could, in my opinion, easily do, cover art for comic books or just natural illustration or just do any kind of drawing, painting, actual art. But I think he's taken that medium, this tiny, cardboard card, because he loves the community, and he's kind of molded his 2 interests together. And I think that's actually a beautiful thing. I mean, to find the way for your two hobbies to intermix is just amazing.
I mean, who doesn't want to work for themselves? I get to, get up whenever I want and be my own boss and do what I love, which is paint and create art. But at the same time, I get to be around the hobby that I love, which is magic, and interact with the friends I've made over the years. And yeah, it's just really fun. Great combination of things I love to do.
I'm just outlining the carbon copy that I already laid down, and that just helps me throughout the rest of the process in seeing all the details. Also, I can clean up anything that didn't get transferred down exactly how I wanted it.
It's an interesting way to take an existing product and kind of enhance it a little bit, just for yourself, or if you're trying to make it a business as well.
I want people to give him money because his art is amazing and he deserves it. We had this idea, like, what would happen if you had artists from history paint magic cards? Like, what if Van Gogh did one? What if Picasso did one? And we just kind of kept talking about it. I'm like, all right, well, we've obviously got to do this. So I was like, all right, well, I will give you the Jaces, and I'll give you a couple ideas for artists, and then we'll just make it happen. The first one was Van Gogh Jace. Then we did Picasso Jace, which just absolutely blew my mind. I mean, that was just brilliant. Then it was Seurat Jace, which is just absolutely beautiful. And then the fourth one we had such a hard time with. He wanted to go more classical, and I was like, no, we got to do Andy Warhol. We have to do an Andy Warhol Jace, like the Marilyn Monroe picture, where it's so bright, it's so bold it has to be that. And he was a little reluctant, but he banged it out, and the Picasso and the Warhol are probably my two favorite. But if you look at the detail, the Van Gogh Jace just absolutely blows everything away. Like, if Van Gogh did Jace, that's what it would look like. And it was a cool idea, and I'm stoked that we did it. I saw he did a couple more Picasso Planeswalkers, so I'm really excited that took off, and that could be something that's popular now.
Whenever you went to like a convention or like an artist signing, the artists for the cards would sign the cards, and sometimes they would do like a little bit of doodling on it. I think that's kind of like the early alteration. That's how people saw it at first. And so I definitely probably drew on a few cards when I was, a freshman in high school, but never to the extent or the elaborate nature that alteration is now.
As far as the future of alters as well, I think there's still plenty of space to take alters. EDH is very popular now. A lot of people like to enhance their decks. So I think there's definitely room for growth.
What are you bouncing?
Anything else? Anything else?
All right, Cora Marfolk, back to hand. I've been playing Magic for the majority of my life now, so it's just a part of my life. It's a part of my everyday thought process. I think about Magic when I wake up in the morning, and so it's just not something that I could ever let go of.
He just has a way of bending and making you realize that anything he touches is going to be great. And it's sad to say it, but some of his most beautiful work are like extensions, and they're just really good extensions. I mean, if you really want a good step-in altar, I'd go with that. I mean, it's beautiful. Everybody's going to like it, and you can't get a bad altar from this guy.